puts a concept like reconciliation, which can seem quite abstract, and takes it into really practical terms.
A tangible step in making the local First Nations a formal part of Vancouver's decision-making. City Council approving a first-of-its-kind strategy to implement the UN's Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People here in Vancouver. Salem with Squamish Nation says it reflects the current working relationship between Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish Nations, and Vancouver, but in a practical way.
The biggest sort of direction that the strategy calls for is a government-to-government approach between the city of Vancouver and the three nations, but also a process for how it can share decision-making.
It's called the UNDRIP strategy, with 79 calls to action. While the specifics are still being worked out, the action items reflect the themes of UNDRIP, which include ending racism against Indigenous people, the right for self-governance, and socioeconomic well-being. The City of Vancouver says it's the first city in Canada to take on an UNDRIP strategy.
It really looks high level at the need for some shifts in terms of governance, electoral reform, economic development, arts and culture, and the ways that we can better integrate Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations and include those voices as equal partners at the table as we move forward.
The opportunity to build an economic development strategy that incorporates Indigenous peoples and Indigenous knowledge is something that brings a value to the city in a way that no other city probably has right now.
The plan has some early actions, which include a cultural heritage project and looking at how the city is naming streets and parks. Other actions are more complicated and could require changes to the city's charter or other provincial and federal legislation. Salem says when Vancouver was created, the province could have engaged with Indigenous principles and values.
Vancouver would be a far different place than it is today, and it'd probably be a far better place than it is today. So when I look forward to the next 100 years and we look back, we can't change the past, we can only change the future. And so this is sort of taking us on that journey to build a better city.
In Vancouver, Kier Junos, City News.